Hello.
Good morning.
Morning, how's it going? You mind introducing yourself to the camera for the interview?
Yeah, name is JD Zink.
And what do you do?
I'm an attorney.
Yes. And what's the name of your law office?
The law firm is named Zink and Lindsay, attorneys at law.
Sounds good. How long have you been operating this business?
Since 1981.
1981. And how did you get started in law? Do you mind talking about that?
Yes. I decided after graduating from college that I wanted to go to law school, and so I applied to several law schools and wound up going to the University of California, Davis Law School, which was a very good law school.
Sounds good. What type of law did you initially specialize in?
Well, I started out working as a deputy district attorney for the Butte County District Attorney's Office, where I spent 5 years as a trial attorney.
That must have been pretty difficult. Do you mind telling me how you got through that experience?
Well, when I was a law student, actually, I worked a semester as an intern for the District Attorney's Office in Yolo County, and I got experience there. And I actually, as a student, conducted a criminal jury trial.
Really?
On a drunk driving case where I was successful in convicting the person who had been accused of drunk driving. So then when I came to the District Attorney's Office in Chico, I started trying jury trials and learned by experience.
Fair enough. So, would you say that law school helped prepare you for being an attorney?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Without law school, it would be very difficult to be a competitive attorney. It's a 3-year program, and you are exposed to different areas of law, civil law and criminal law, and there are many different branches of civil law as well: constitutional law, real property law, civil rights, contracts, and on and on and on. Family law,
personal injury as well, I would assume.
That's called, in law school, it's called torts, T-O-R-T-S.
Right.
Which just means basically a case involving injury of person or property.
Fair enough.
Sure.
So, you kind of decided to initially specialize in being a prosecutor. You did that for 5 years, worked as an associate district attorney. Like, when did you decide to switch, and what did you switch to?
Well, after 5 years, where I got a lot of trial experience, there was an opening in a local personal injury law firm. And so I took that opening and went to work as a personal injury trial lawyer, and that was with a large law firm that needed someone because they had a number of people leave, and so I got hired and became their chief litigator.
Chief litigator, that sounds pretty impressive. Do you mind describing what that job was about?
Well, it involves meeting new clients, getting all the information from the clients that is necessary, then doing investigation as to what happened to the client, how they're involved in an accident or whatever it may have been, and then working with staff and investigators, then probably filing what's called a complaint with the court, and then going into a process called discovery, where you learn the defendant's case, and they learn yours. Almost always it involves an insurance company for the other side, and so dealing with the insurance company, you wind up either negotiating settlements or going to trial.
That sounds like quite a lot to do for a single case. How long did it typically take from meeting the clients to trial and either winning or losing the trial?
Okay, every case is different, just like every fingerprint is different.
Yeah, that's true.
And there are also, varying degrees of injury as well, from simple injuries to fractured bones to brain injuries to serious cases of impairment, paralysis, paraplegia, and on and on. So cases sometimes take up to several years to get to trial. I have a case right now that's about 5 years old. It's going to be going to trial.
Wow.
Because it's been a very complicated case, and so every case is different. Some actually, there's simpler cases I've settled in as little as 2 or 3 months after initiation of the case, and some take much longer.
So depending on the complexity, it takes from a few months to years to finish them.
That's correct.
Yeah. So fair enough. So how long did you work at this as the chief in your job?
Well, with the law firm, after several years, I think about 2 or 2.5 years, I decided to go out on my own, and so I started my own law firm along with a young man who had been working with me at the firm where I was, that I had hired there, and so we formed our own law firm as a partnership.
Sounds good. Who was this other person?
His name was Al Lindsay.
Yeah.
Actually, first name Albert. So we became partners in about 1981.
1981.
And he just retired last year, at the end of 2024.
Oh, good for him. I hope he's living a good life.
I think he's doing well.
Yeah. And what were the kind of the trials and challenges of starting up your own law firm?
Well, first getting clients.
Yeah.
and then renting an office, hiring staff, secretaries, paralegals, things like that, and getting the necessary legal law books. When I started out, there was not an internet, so you had to have hard copy law books to be able to do research and to prepare cases. And so there was some expense in getting started, and then there's always ongoing expenses from there on, because all the research books have to be updated from time to time because the law keeps changing.
Yeah.
And then staff and overhead never goes away. It's similar to running any other small business in many respects.
Yeah, but do you mind going into a little more in depth, like how did you initially try to attract clients? How did the payment structure work out and stuff like that?
Well, in the beginning, when I left the other law firm, I had developed a number of clients there that stayed with me when I moved, so I already had a number of clients to start with then. And then over the years, almost all of the new clients that I got were referred by older clients that were happy with the services I gave them.
Sounds good. So, you had this already built-in case of clientele. You were able to use word of mouth, stuff like that. You didn't use any sort of paid advertising or anything like that?
It was kind of customary in those days to have an advertisement in what was called the yellow pages.
So you advertised in the yellow pages, but that was it?
They almost don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
because of the internet and social media and so on, and television advertising. But yellow page ads where people would go almost all the time to find lawyers or plumbers or carpenters or whatever they needed. And so that was one thing that we had to pay advertising. And then when TV advertising became legal, then I did some advertising on local television, which I think was helpful.
Yeah, so TV advertising for attorneys was illegal at some point. Do you mind telling me about that?
Well, until about the late 1970s, early 1980s, no professionals advertised. Doctors didn't advertise, chiropractors, lawyers, dentists, and then, from what I understand, a dentist in Florida started advertising, and the state prosecuted him for advertising, and he went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said that he had a First Amendment right to advertise. So that opened the door to all professionals in advertising, to where now sometimes we are inundated with advertising by professionals. So it almost becomes a cliche that these people advertise, especially these days. There's a Southern California law firm where these guys stand on top of trucks and tell you how great they are when they really aren't.
Oh yeah, you know how it goes. Yeah, a lot of people.
So anyway, but then the advertising, and now I probably going back to word of mouth advertising, because of the expense of television and other advertising. This becomes so saturated now, you just get lost in the crowd.
Exactly. So it's kind of hard to stand out with all the other professionals and stuff.
Yeah. So having represented hundreds, if not thousands, of people over the years, I still get a lot of referral cases.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, no, having that base of people who can refer other people to you is always a good thing.
That's true.
Yeah. And as you grew and stuff like that, did you bring in any new partners or anything like that, or?
Well, no. I always we just stayed with a two-person law firm, and there was a good reason for that. If you hire associates, they after a while they leave on go on their own, and then they become your competition.
Right. So to avoid that, you just kept the two partners, right?
Right. Exactly. Nobody's training your opposition, your competition.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense. And did you get into any other ventures at any point or anything like that?
Well, over the years, I did some real estate ventures, and where I got into developing, subdivisions, for gain back, especially when the market was really good. Then the recession, or what we called the recession, came along. That kind of made it difficult.
2008 recession.
Yeah, and since that time, I just went back to law and stuck with that without getting into real estate.
But do you mind telling me a bit about that? Like, don't you need to have a license to participate in real estate and stuff like that? Do you mind telling me about that?
To become a real estate developer, you do not need any license at all.
But I also
all you need is money and some time, and buying raw property. Then hire engineers to do the subdivision and engineering work to get approved by the city or the county, so that you can start building houses.
Sounds good.
So, but I also do have a real estate broker's license, which I've had for years.
How does that help you in your how did that help you in your real estate business?
Well, when it came to selling homes that had been built, I could be my own real estate broker and didn't have to pay someone else to do, sell the houses for me. I could sell them myself. I could list them in the multiple listing service and give a commission to the buyer's agents.
Sounds good. So it kind of reduced your cost and overhead by doing it that way.
Yeah.
And I guess you were pretty successful at doing it, because when did you start doing real estate and stuff like that?
Oh, I basically got the real estate broker's license so I could buy and sell property without having to pay commissions, and then I got into subdivision development in the early 90s.
Early 90s. Oh, that's pretty good. From the early 90s to 2008, I mean, you must have been pretty darn successful at that.
Oh, it was pretty good, yes. You can't, but like anything else, you sometimes you run into a wall where in the recession nobody was buying houses, the prices went down, and many people lost a lot of money. There was a huge number of foreclosures, and so houses just weren't selling anymore.
Fair enough, fair enough. But I mean, how many subdivisions did you end up building?
Oh, 10 or 12.
10 or 12 just around this area? That's,
Oh, yeah, Chico. Mhm.
yeah, that must be quite a lot,
It was a good sideline.
Yeah. Yeah, and then are there any like particularly big cases that you ended up working on like in recent years?
There are several, pretty large cases involving serious accidents and injuries.
Yeah.
And people that were seriously injured. And one of the things also that I got into the last few years are representing disabled people who encounter dangerous conditions. Even here in the city of Chico, all the time, if you walk on the sidewalks, you notice there are places where the sidewalks are elevated by city trees lifting up the slabs, where you got a half-inch or an inch lift. People trip on those.
Yeah.
And especially if they're disabled people, it's harder for them to get around, and so there are special laws protecting disabled people from dangerous conditions and what they call barriers to access. So I've been helping out disabled people who have been injured because of dangerous conditions.
Now that's actually really helpful. Like, would you mind describing like how you charge customers and stuff like that?
Well, it's different than like business law. In business law, attorneys usually get a big retainer in order to start working on a client's case. But in the case of injured people, they usually don't have much money and they can't afford big retainers. So there's a system called the contingency fee system, where the person does not have to pay a big retainer, does not even have to pay any of the costs of ongoing litigation. The lawyer puts his time in at that point for nothing, pays all of the costs of going forward with the case, but when the case either settles or there's a judgment and it gets paid, the attorney then gets a percentage of what they get for the client and the return of their costs.
Sounds good, Mike. And how much is this fee normally?
It's usually a third.
A third.
1/3 of the gross amount settled for or judgment.
Sounds good. And is there anything that would raise or lower this, or?
No, it's just negotiable. Actually, if a case is more difficult, it could be even more than a third, or it's possible if it turns out that the case is easier, then I sometimes reduce the amount that I charge someone.
That's good, yeah.
So, as a courtesy.
Fair enough, fair enough. And I know you were big in helping out local people during the campfire. Would you mind talking about that a little bit?
I don't mind at all. When I heard about the fire, and I thought, oh my goodness, these people are really, really going to need help. I did get a number of clients who had lost their homes in the fire, or smoke damage, or a number of things, or the landscaping was burned, or the trees were burned down, or things like that. And I represented them, and the PG&E at that point went into bankruptcy, and they put and they made a settlement where the money was put into a trust to pay off the people who are making claims. So I represented people in those cases. When we did so, our law firm usually had a smaller fee than some of the law firms that were from out of town that charged more, and also probably gave less services because they took on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cases and treated them all the same, where with us, we actually gave people individual care and really worked hard to get them the most we could.
Well, it sounds like you really care about helping people and making a good difference in the world.
Well, I do believe that we're put here on the earth to help each other, and I think that one of the reasons I went into law is because I wanted to be able to help people who are having problems, and I thought it would be maybe the best place for me to do that. So that's why I started doing it, and that's why I still do it. and really, after a lot of years of doing it, I still like what I do, and I really still like helping people.
Alrighty, well, thank you very much for this interview. It was very nice talking to you.
You're welcome, and I appreciate the chance to talk to you, and I hope you have a very successful life after college.
Alrighty, I appreciate it.